Hello everyone, welcome to another exciting episode of Dayspring Discussions. I'm your host, Sean McGahee, and this is a show we talk about movies, TV, sci-fi, fantasy, comic books. If you geek out about it, we're going to talk about it. And no, you did not fall asleep for a whole week and wake up and it's next week. That's right, we're back with 2 shows this week. Yesterday I came in, I did a show solo by myself. We talked about
Solo by yourself?
I know. As I said it, I realized I said the exact same thing. Shut up. And with me here to point out every flaw I have is Lisa Lockmcgahey. Say hello, Lisa.
Well, that's what wives are for.
Exactly. So we're here, guys. Yesterday I talked about a few things that I didn't think Lisa was really going to have much to say. She was at work, but she's free today, and I know you guys are all anxious to see kind of our opinions or in-depth analysis of Guardians of the Galaxy Vol. 2, which is another reason I wanted to do this. We haven't got a chance to talk about it yet, so I wanted to get into that. We'll get into a few other things, such as a few trailers that dropped, and overall just have a good time. You guys fire back on the social media groups, Facebook group, Twitter, or of course, dayspringdiscussions@gmail.com, and let us know what you thought about the topics we're about to cover. So Lisa, you ready to get going on this?
I am.
All right, well, like I said, the main reason we're here is to talk about the big opening this week, which is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 came out. We went and saw it Thursday night. Almost been a whole week, actually, since we saw it. Time to gestate, time to think about it. So, Lisa, what is your just initial opinion on Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2?
I really liked it. I liked it, I think, equal, if not a little bit better than the original. Maybe just because we already knew all the characters, and so you already, jump into it already having an understanding of who everybody is. I know sometimes first movies that can be what holds them back a little bit, is they have to introduce all the characters. But I thought it was a lot funnier than I thought it was going to be. Baby Groot is freaking adorable. I liked the storyline. I love Kurt Russell, so anything he's added to is a win. I thought it was really cute. I really liked it. Well done.
Cool. Great. I enjoyed it as well. I as soon as I came out of it, I will go ahead and say I liked it more than the first one, mainly because I liked the story a little more. The first one, it was good. It was a little more simple. It was your origin, your introduction to the characters. The villain wanted to destroy things. They had to stop the villain. Mm-hmm. This one, it got a little more personal. So,
Ego was a better villain, I thought, than what's his face.
And guys, of course, as you know, we're doing spoilers here. So obviously, you've seen the movie, given the fact that it made $145 million, and the number 2 movie of the week, Fate of the Furious, only made like $8 million. So,
so basically. Everybody who had the movies this week
saw Volume 2. Yeah. Exactly. So, of course, if you haven't seen the movie, put us on pause, come back, and check it out later. But yes, Kurt Russell as Ego, the Living Planet, I thought was great. The interpersonal relationships, this was about, family, I guess. Mm-hmm. This one, storyline-wise, only picks up a few months after the first one. So you can see that the Guardians are still getting to know each other. You have kind of the rapport between Rocket and Star-Lord, where they're trying to, fight for control, trying to figure each other out.
Just outdo each other.
Exactly. And then same thing with, Star-Lord still trying to woo Zoe Saldana's character, Gamora,
right.
In that sense, too. And you get them interacting with each other, and it really was about, family, about, you had the thing between Gamora and Nebula, which I thought the depth on that was good, and of course,
well, and then the whole movie was about family.
But Peter and his fathers, his real father and his surrogate father, which is Yondu, which I love how they did Yondu in this one.
Yeah, I did too.
Thought they did a really good job, kind of explaining the character, not only him but also Nebula. You can see how and why they acted the way they did in the first film. Especially Nebula, that little scene there between her and Gamora about what they would, what their father Thanos would do was they would fight each other, and whoever lost, he would punish them, and that's why, he talked about ripping, ripping her eyes out, or ripping stuff like that, and it's just so graphic, but. Again, they just showed kind of the relationships between the characters. Another relationship I really enjoyed was between Mantis and Drax.
Yeah, that
was interesting because they're both always so literal. They're not very, I would say, empathetic.
It's not that she's so literal. She was just so naive.
Yeah.
And he's just so literal that the way that they communicated was really funny.
Exactly.
But in a cute kind of way. Like, just the fact that they understood each other in a way I think that other people don't understand them.
It was cool. And, of course, Baby Groot.
So cute.
It was so cute. Now, just to go, let's go ahead and just talk a little bit briefly about the 5 post-credit scenes we got and just run through them real quick. So the first one we got was Sean Gunn's character, where he's trying to use Yondu's old arrow controlling device and accidentally stabs Dave Bautista.
That was funny.
That was funny, okay. The next one we got was Sylvester Stallone's character. Now, I totally forgot that he was even going to be in the movie until I just saw him in there.
I didn't even know.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that. But the thing was, I thought about it, and he was in the movie. You know, he had a little interaction with Yondu. I couldn't remember who his character was. But then they showed that post-credit scene, and I remember he's a character in the comics known as Starhawk. Now, Starhawk was a member of the original Guardians of the Galaxy that was back in, like, I think it was 1970 or 1960s when it started. In that scene there, you have the original Guardians of the Galaxy minus Yondu, because Yondu was a member of the original team there. So that's kind of what that was whole setting up. FYI, remember how Michael Rosenbaum was supposed to be in the movie?
Oh, yeah.
He was the ice guy, like the crystallized guy.
Oh.
He was that character who was in the post-credit scene as well. Mm-hmm. And then also the cameo by Miley Cyrus.
Who is she?
In that scene as well, she had the robot head. And she said like one line. And that was it.
Okay.
So probably the best use of Miley Cyrus for this film, I will say
Whatever.
that. In that respect. Another scene we got was Teenage Groot.
That was so funny.
Now, like I said, this movie only takes place a couple months after the first one, so that's why we have Baby Groot in this one. Now, I think what that scene sets up is the next one, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, or even Avengers Infinity War, where we're going to see the Guardians next, because James Gunn, the director, has said that Guardians 3 takes place several years after Guardians 2, which means that's why Groot would be
growing a little older.
And of course, you saw grumpy old teenage Groot in that one. So, the big post-credit scenes are, of course, the one with Stan Lee, his nice little cameo there. Now, we saw briefly that one where Rocket and Yondu were jumping from gate to gate, and you saw the weird thing with their faces, and I want to go back and just rewatch all that because I know there's little Easter eggs there where you're seeing people, but it was going so quick I couldn't get a good look at them. The only good look we really got was the Stan Lee cameo, and he's sitting there with the Watchers. Now, for those you don't know, the Watchers are this race of ancient beings in the galaxy, and they always show up on Earth whenever something important is about to happen, like a big event is what it is. And there's this little running joke that Stan Lee, all his cameos in the Marvel movies, makes him a watcher in disguise or even a watcher with amnesia because he's here during all these events in the Marvel universe. So the way they kind of played on that fan theory I thought was interesting as well. And I just couldn't believe also they gave us watchers. That was awesome. That was super cool. I hope they show up again in Avengers Infinity War when it's a big cosmic battle with Thanos. That'd be awesome. Now, the one that everyone's been asking me about was the one at the end with, what's that villain's name again? We got the Golden Girl.
The Sovereign.
What's his name? Is that Aisha? Aisha was the character's name, where you see her making something and she says, "I believe I should call him Adam." I freaked out.
Yes,
that one, of course.
You freaked out several times.
Exactly.
You're kind of embarrassing to go to the movies.
Whatever. Okay, so anyway, what they're referencing is the character known as Adam Warlock. And just to explain it to you guys a little bit, Adam Warlock was a genetically created character, mainly to, of course, help protect the galaxy, but also to fight Thanos. He's one of the few characters that have gone toe-to-toe with Thanos and actually given him a run for his money. He also possessed an Infinity Stone at one point as well. But overall, just he's very important in the cosmic sense. And that goes into these group of characters. What's the name of these guys? Anyway,
the Sovereign.
The
I
Sovereign.
just said that.
Okay, sorry. Sovereign. They think themselves, higher above. They think themselves more supreme beings. So the fact that now she's trying to create a more supreme being feeds into all of that. Now, rumor is we won't see Adam Warlock actually in Infinity War. So I'm not curious. As I said, he's a big guy that fights Thanos. So I could see him possibly in the 4th Avengers film, helping out to fight Thanos. Just, my thing is with Avengers Infinity War, I think the whole movie is just going to be Thanos showing up and kicking ass. And by the 4th Avengers film, that's when they're all banding together to take him down. So that's when I think we're going to see Adam Warlock. And he might continue over into the 3rd Guardians of the Galaxy movie. So there's kind of the post-credit scenes explained for you a little bit. Now, this movie, of course, no movie is without its faults. I had 3 on my list, but what are yours? You have any faults really stick out in your mind?
I don't know. I haven't really thought about it.
Okay, well, let me give you mine, and then you can kind of
Sure.
feed off of that. So, story-wise, again, I loved what they did with Ego and Star-Lord, where, you know, he needed Peter to help him complete his goal, his mission, and Peter found out that he's part Celestial. And that was cool. I loved how, he's one of many children that Ego has had. And, you see the bones of all his other kill. That got a little dark there. That was interesting twist. The really twist, I mean, you could have seen this twist coming, but the fact that Ego gave his mother the tumor that gave her cancer, it's one of those things where, okay, it's a whole twist to it. And it's kind of, you see it because he was in love with Peter's mom, but he knew that was a distraction from his mission. So the only way to fulfill his mission was to do something terrible to her to basically kill her.
So he didn't have a reason to go back.
Yeah, exactly. So there's that. But with Peter being part Celestial, as soon as they did that, I'm like, okay, they got to do something with this, because if he goes into Avengers Infinity War as part Celestial, he's going to be able to go toe-to-toe with Thanos, and that just doesn't make sense. So the fact that they gave him this power, and then, of course, they took it away, it kind of bothered me a little bit. I mean, I had given the power, okay, but the way they did it was like, okay, if I die, you don't have it. It's kind of like the old vampire way, where, like, if one vampire, the main vampire dies, then all the people they sired are no longer vampires. And it was just a little silly. I didn't buy it quite that much. Were you okay with that? I mean...
Well, I mean, I thought it had to happen, because he couldn't possibly have kept the power.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I thought that was kind of like... I didn't have a problem with it, no, because it just seemed like the obvious what had to happen.
Yeah. Okay. My other flaw was, okay, the thing that a lot of people are worried about, and a lot of sequels do this, is you take the things that people loved about the first one and you amp them up for the sequel, and it turns out ruin it. Best example of that, in my opinion,
there's so many examples
is Transformers 2.
Or how about the other one, the one with the guys that go to Vegas?
Ocean's 12 or no?
No, the funny one with Bradley Cooper.
Oh, Hangover.
Hangover Part 2 was like those ones. Those are like I'm just saying, those ones are like the epitome of the first movie trying to do exactly what it did again and it being stupid.
Yeah, and of course, the things like, story-wise, they didn't. And I loved, again, they gave more character depth on this one. But 2 things that bothered me was, of course, we all love the music in the first one. And I love the beginning there where Baby Groot was dancing to the music.
That was such a cute way to open. That was one of my favorite parts.
But I think they were using too much music. Too much of that, old term music. Yeah, it was good and all, but it was too much, in my opinion.
I didn't think so at all.
I thought it was too much. And then same thing with, some people who, might have their own podcasts that go by long box sessions, criticize Guardians of the Galaxy for all its jokes.
I loved how funny this movie was.
I liked the jokes, but there were some times where, like, okay, there's that shot of them, standing there, we have all the group or whatever, and then Mantis gets hit by, like, the rock or whatever, and there were so many of those moments where, like, you had that serious moment, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, the joke's coming. Oh, there's the joke. They couldn't let moments like that just be. You had plenty of comedy in this film. There was moments like that where you couldn't, you had a little bit of a serious moment, and they always had to cut the tension with a joke. I didn't like it as much. And there were like 2 or 3 times at least where it was like that, where especially I was just like, oh, they're gonna throw in the joke. Oh, there it is. It was a little too much for me. But those 3, I guess you want to call them minor, don't call them minor, whatever, criticism. But overall, like I said, the thing that I loved about this movie was the story. You got more personal with the characters. It all worked very well together. And so, cool. Again, the standout, Yondu. And I will credit Marvel and James Gunn for this, where a lot of people criticize them that they don't kill their characters. I don't think Yondu's coming back.
No.
And I loved how he went out.
Yeah.
He went out great. He went out heroically. It was just a great way to go. Mary Poppins, y'all.
Yeah, that was cute.
All right, so I think that's about all I got. Anything else you want to comment?
No, I mean, just what I was saying, too. I think that the way they opened this movie, I really liked that about how, because every Marvel movie opens with a big fight scene. That's just how it goes.
Yeah.
They all open that way. Some kind of big fight scene.
Yeah.
So I thought it was really cute how this one, it followed the Marvel mold in that it opened with a big fight scene. But they did it in such a clever way that it stood out to me. Just like the fight scene's going on, it's in the background, it's happening, but all you're doing is enjoying watching Baby Groot dance around through all the fighting to a really cute song. Like, I thought it was really a clever way. And this movie obviously is targeting a younger group.
Yeah.
Like some of the Marvel movies are a little more serious, a little more... I mean, even though they have all the lightheartedness, this one I really felt like they were trying to hit a younger group of people.
Yeah, but I mean, one thing I'll credit the Marvel movies, I've said this many times before, they're family movies.
Oh, yeah.
Where there was a bunch of jokes. You got Baby Groot being funny and all that. But again, that family drama, the character dynamics, a kid's not going to pick up that on that.
No, for sure.
So, yeah.
But just the humor in this one, I feel like all the Marvel movies have the jokes, they have the quips, but this one was funny. Like, I felt like this movie was a comedy. Like, it was so funny. And I really enjoyed all the funny. I mean, I know that, there were a couple scenes where they did try to kind of...
overdid it a little.
Yeah, but there weren't very many parts of this where I was like, okay, that joke's gone on long enough. Like,
yeah. I'll tell you what, though, after seeing Kurt Russell kick ass in this movie, too, I want to see that Alamo WrestleMania.
I know, WrestleMania.
Where they show the 5 movies and you don't know which Kurt Russell movies there are. That'd be a definitely cool event because Kurt Russell's
amazing.
Rules all. I think that's about all I get. I thought I had one more thing to talk about here in it, but I guess not. So I guess we can move on to actually our other topics of today. Ready for it?
Sure.
Okay, so we're going to do things a little differently here, okay? For those of you who don't know, which is probably very few of you, MTV Movie Awards were a couple days ago, and this is
Do you think that most people listening knew that the MTV Movie Awards just happened?
Because
they're so popular and we're 15 years old.
Because there are clips that come out that they premiered there. So we're going to talk about some of the clips they premiered for the summer movies and the promotional stuff. So they released a final trailer for Wonder Woman. They released a clip for Spider-Man Homecoming, and then they released for another clip for Transformers The Last Night. So what we're going to do, instead of going, by company or genre, I'm just going to group all these together. We'll go through it in just a little bit, but I'm going to ask you this, okay? There's that little game that, people play. Me and my coworkers like to play this, where it's called Do, Marry, Kill, where you take 3 celebrities and, you marry one, you kill one, and you do one, okay? So with this one, with these 3 previews, okay, I'm going to say... Go see one in theater. One is going to be buy a ticket right now, wait for DVD, or never ever see it. So Wonder Woman, Transformers, Spider-Man Homecoming, just off what you've seen of this.
Okay, that's super easy.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, well, number one, never ever going to see the Transformers shit.
I'll agree with that.
That trailer, every single trailer has looked like crap, and this little clip did nothing to make me want to see it. It was stupid. It was not even cute.
But you had Anthony Hopkins saying,
dude. Yeah, no, thank you. This trailer did absolutely nothing to make me want to see this film.
Okay.
And I mean, even on top of the fact, even if you take away the fact that the other ones have been bullshit since the first one, this trailer was not what was like, oh, maybe this one will be the one.
No. And
no way.
Again, just to talk about it a little more, I totally agree with you on that. There was another thing they just released like yesterday. It was like the history of the Transformers, where you show little clips of like Transformers in historical events, like you see them with King Arthur, which, they're supposed to be King Arthur and Camelot and all this, along with Nazis. So that's looking forward to this. Again, my big thing is we got our first look at Hot Rod, which is one of my favorite Transformer, because he was the star of the 1986 Transformers animated film. Still the best animated Transformers film, in my opinion. And, of course, I was disappointed with what I saw and all that other jazz. But that's beside the point. Anyway, still looks like crap.
Yes.
So there's that.
Even though I am curious what the movies are going to say as to why they keep coming to Earth.
And why everyone was so shocked that when they actually appeared.
But I don't care enough to want to go see this movie.
Fair enough. All right, so out of Spider-Man and Wonder Woman, which one are you going to rent? Which one are you buying a ticket for right now?
I say this is harder. Only because I really want Wonder Woman to be awesome.
Okay.
And I do. I really want it to be good.
Remember, you have to go just off what you've seen.
So just off what I'm seeing, I'm going to go see Spider-Man. I'm going to rent Wonder Woman.
Okay, there we go. Okay, that's exactly what I do. So let's build up to Spider-Man.
But I say that very lightly because I do think
It's
that
close.
Spider-Man is going to be really good. But that's not necessarily because of the... I mean, I thought the trailer was super cute. You can totally tell that they are marketing toward teenagers.
Yeah.
But I feel like, based on the track record, like the Marvel's track record and DC's track record, I feel like Spider-Man's going to be the better movie. Even though I really want Wonder Woman to be amazing.
Okay, so tell you what, let's talk about Spider-Man first then, okay? We saw a little clip. It was basically Peter sneaking into his room after a day of being a vigilante, and he tries to be very quiet, so his Aunt May, played by Marissa Tomei, does not come in, and his best friend's there waiting for him, holding the Death Star, and he's shocked.
The Lego Death Star.
He drops the Death Star. He's like, I thought we were going to, finish building the Death Star. And he has to explain to him that he's Spider-Man, and he's like, are you Avengers? Like, yeah, pretty much. And he's like, I don't think I can keep this a secret. That was great.
It was a cute
It was a great
scene.
clip. And then, of course, the part at the end there with Zendaya where she's like, hey, where you going? I'm just kidding. I don't care. Go. It was a great clip. It felt very real, very genuine. Just overall, again, just something that sucks you into it all.
Yeah.
Very good. And I like.
I mean, it seems very real. Like, that's what a teenager who had superpowers, that's how they would behave. It's...
Very neurotic. Like, don't tell anybody. Oh my god.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
I think it's easy for people to relate to that. Easier than it is to relate to, like, some of the other Marvel superheroes. You can't really relate to Thor. You can't really relate to Hulk.
What are you talking about? Oh, see all this muscle here?
I'm just saying.
See all this muscle?
I'm just saying, I feel like Spider-Man is easier to relate to.
And that's why people are so attached to the character throughout all these years, because he's one of those rare superheroes where being a superhero makes his life more difficult. If you want an example of that, go see Spider-Man 2 with Tobey Maguire. Probably still the best Spider-Man film, although I think Homecoming might be giving it a run for its money.
Right?
We'll see about that. But overall, yeah, the clip alone made it look a lot fun and made me very interested. That comes out July 7th, so we got a little time to wait. Another one we don't have time to wait on is Wonder Woman. Advance tickets are on sale. Comes out June 2nd. This was the final trailer, allegedly, for Wonder Woman. It was 2.5 minutes long, and it had something I'm getting so sick of. I'm just going to go ahead and comment on it. Modern music. I am so sick of these modern music. I mean, and of course, it's been going on forever. I get it. But
it seems seems worse recently.
It seems worse. And okay, just to looking back, say yesterday I talked about the Defenders trailer. They used a Nirvana song in that, but it felt like it fit because it was modern day New York and they were fighting in the streets. So I could see how Nirvana song said this is an Imagine Dragons song. A popular band right now. And but the movie is set in
World War II.
World War One.
World War One, right?
And the character is from basically Greek mythology.
Yeah.
Why do you throw a modern song from 2017 in there?
Yeah, like sometimes they fit. It's like that was my critique with the King Arthur trailer.
Yeah.
The song didn't
Okay,
fit.
yeah.
Where like with the Kingsman trailer, having like a Sinatra song, it fit.
Oh yeah, hands down.
It fit. So I get it. Like having this music. I get that people who make these trailers want them to be powerful and but if it doesn't fit, it doesn't fit.
They think it'll appeal to the younger crowd is what it is.
Yeah, but it doesn't make any sense.
It takes me completely out of it.
Oh yeah,
is what it
like
is.
the last trailer for other Wonder Woman trailers, I didn't feel like they had this weird music dynamic.
This is the first time they played a modern song with it.
This one just didn't feel right. And number one, I don't understand why we needed another trailer.
Exactly.
They just showed more. I mean, we've seen enough. Like, people already want to see this movie. The extra things that they threw into this, it's like now I just feel like they're telling... The only thing this trailer to the other ones hadn't was they talked about the villain.
Yeah.
They mentioned who that villain was.
Dr. Poison.
Dr. Poison.
Which is not the main villain enough.
Whatever. I mean, they showed her in the other trailers, but they never addressed it. Like, this one, they actually said who that was. And that was why Chris Pine was seeking out help or whatever. But I don't know. We didn't need this trailer.
No, we didn't need it at all.
The extra things that they showed, they didn't show enough new stuff. It's mostly stuff that's been in all the other trailers. And some of the way that this trailer was cut together, it felt very like last minute. Like they showed some stuff at the end that was like, well, why are you showing that? Like that. Yeah. Like, at the very end of the trailer, they showed the mom walking child Diana into the room with the sword and the lasso. Yeah. She stole that earlier in the trailer.
Yeah.
Like, why are you showing
Why do you go back?
now?
Like the last trailer, they showed all those younger stuff before
at the beginning,
and then they went to,
right. Like this trailer seemed very
just
like
jarring, yeah.
it just seemed very thrown together at the last second. The order of the clips didn't make any sense. What they threw in didn't make any sense. The music didn't make any sense. It wasn't a good trailer.
Okay, the only positive thing I'm going to say about this trailer is based off what we've seen. Okay, it's about Diana kind of feel like she might possibly learn her true origin. So for those of you who don't know, Wonder Woman, her original origin was that she was made out of clay. Zeus blessed her mother, and she has no father or whatever. In the new 52 storyline, which I actually enjoy, you come to find out that her mother actually had an affair with Zeus, which is why she's part demigod, which is why she's so powerful. And I feel that that's the way they're going to go with this one, mainly because it's much more interesting.
They say something in one of the earlier trailers
the earlier
about
like,
how she must never know who she really is.
And you see that, whatever. And then there's this scene here where she's climbing up that wall to get to looks like the sword and stuff like that, and she looks like kind of like this surprised face. We're like, I didn't know I could do this. Where she's kind of learning these new powers that she's getting as maybe she gets older, and if she learns her possible true origins, or they might save that, of course, for later on as well. But I think that would be a good character arc they could do with it. Whether they go fully in on that, we'll just have to wait and see. But thinking about, of course, you said don't need this trailer. I would agree we didn't need this trailer. But other people might agree that when they do need this trailer, because some people are criticizing how much they haven't advertised this movie.
Yeah, but they don't need a new trailer. Just show the last one at the...
So they said at this point, like say, with weeks to go, that they had almost doubled or tripled the advertisement for Suicide Squad at this point, so close to the movie's release. Now, also, Wonder Woman marketing has received bad press following an announcement it's tying into a protein bar brand, Think Thin.
What?
Yep, that's what it says. It's one of the tie-in bars. Their pride is a Think Thin, which is like a women's diet protein bar. Which of course
they're advertising like Wonder Woman on the boxes or something.
Yeah.
Oh,
so that's kind of one of the criticism is the fact that she's a female character. So they're trying to I don't know, what do you want to say?
Use her to market dieting.
Exactly.
To appeal to women.
Because it's women. Yeah, exactly. So exactly. I don't know. I mean, like I said, we're in this. We talk about this on a weekly basis. Other people, aren't. So we could say, yeah, we've seen too much, but maybe other people haven't. But this is the time they need to ramp up their marketing. I think the marketing is, with a few weeks to go, this is really where it's going to kick in. We're going to see a lot more TV clips. And
I agree, but I just don't think that means making a new trailer. Just show the trailer. The last trailer they released wasn't that long ago. The one we just saw in the theater the other day. That's a good trailer. Show that one outside of the movie theater. Show that one on TV. Show that one
at the MTV Movie Awards.
At the MTV Movie Awards. Like, why make this new shit trailer instead of just showing one you already have that's good?
I agree. Okay. I'll give you that.
And I will say for this one, people who, for example, at work, everyone I work with knows that I that we talk about movies, that we do this podcast. Everyone comes and talks to me when there's questions about Star Wars and there's questions about comic book movies.
Do you tell them to listen to the show?
Well, not the people who come to me about Star
Wars. What I do,
Wars.
see, people ask me these questions. I'm like, it's on you. You want to know what I think?
But
listen on iTunes.
But the show's very long.
Okay, well, they can skip ahead.
I feel I know. I'm just saying. I think if we did separate, a Star Wars thing versus a comic book thing separate. Anyway, we'll talk about that later.
I will recommend YouTube, because YouTube, I change the pictures depending on the topic so they can skip ahead and look at the pictures, see what we're talking about.
Anyway.
Okay, go for it.
So my point is, people come to me at work and ask me questions when they have questions about these kinds of things. And a lot of people have come to me and said they're super excited for Wonder Woman. People who don't normally have an interest in this kind of stuff. So I do feel like this is good. And I mean, also, I work with a lot of women, obviously.
Yeah.
So I do think that wherever they're marketing this, it's hitting women. They're seeing it.
Sounds good. Cool. That's it. All right, guys. All right, so we'll move on from there. We're going to skip over and go to Star Wars. Now, this all is depending on the fact that, Lisa, have you finished Thrawn?
I have.
She finished Thrawn, ladies and gentlemen. All right, we can finally talk about this. If you haven't read Thrawn and you don't want to know how it goes, again, pause this, come back to this part later, and you can share your opinions as well on what we felt. So, Thrawn came out a couple days before Star Wars Celebration. I was started listening to it during Celebration when I was in line waiting for the Last Jedi panel. and written by the original Thrawn creator, Timothy Zahn. Came back, and actually he was there at Celebration as well in the writers' panels and signing and stuff like that. A lot of people credit him for the what I would say, not rejuvenation, but kind of keeping Star Wars alive, because his Heir to the Empire with the Thrawn trilogy, so to speak, was the first piece that we gotten post Return of the Jedi since the actual Return of the Jedi movie. And now that we've got new canon, Thrawn has been thrown into Star Wars Rebels, and then this book kind of gives us a precursor as to Thrawn's origin. So overall, Lisa, what do you think?
So I just want to say, number one, compared to the original Thrawn trilogy, so I actually haven't finished that. I read the first two. I was probably through the third one. I like this one so much better than I like those.
This Thrawn character?
This Thrawn book.
Okay.
So much better than those ones. And I think it's because this book is about Thrawn.
Uh-huh.
Like those, the original Thrawn trilogy, Thrawn is in them. He's a character in them, but he's not the main character.
Yeah, the main characters are Luke, Leia, and
Luke,
Han.
Leia, and Han, right. Which I like them, but I loved this book. I really liked it a lot. I would say it's in my top 5 of all the Star Wars, of the new Star Wars
I didn't put it in my top 3. I put it in my top 5.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really sat down and made a list, but I really liked it. I love what they did with Thrawn. I thought his character was so interesting. The only thing I didn't like about it was that it made me like him.
Okay, that's
what I'm saying. And I don't want to like him.
That's what I love, is because you get his point of view.
Mm-hmm.
You see his thinking, his reasoning as to why the Empire works.
Yeah.
So then you don't really think about all the things you do. Are like, oh, he has a reason for that. He doesn't. He gets why he gets why the Empire must exist and why they must do what they must do for the better of the galaxy. And now I'm like, when I go back and rewatch Rebels Season 3, I'm not going to hate him as much.
I know, but then it makes me kind of wonder too if, like, in this story, you know, basically his whole time, he's trying to figure out Night Swan.
Yeah.
And he, not because he wants to bring him down, but because he's impressed with him. So I'm wondering, because we don't know what happens to Thrawn after Rebels.
I don't know. Well,
we don't know where he goes or what he does or what's happening.
Season 4, okay.
Right. So I'm wondering if his relationship with the rebellion, if it's got any kind of ties like with him and Night Swan. Like if he isn't necessarily just trying to kill them all, but if he has like an appreciation for anybody that's running things, like maybe if he's gonna try to do something, I don't know. I'm just wondering.
And you can see too in Rebels where he's kind of admiring, you know, the Ghost crew and you know the way they think, the way they operate as well.
Yeah.
And you can get that too. Let's talk a little bit about his supporting cast. Eli.
I really liked.
I was curious. I was like, okay, I kept waiting for the whole book for something to happen where Thrawn would like kill him or betray him for the betterment of the Empire or for the benefit of him. But he never did. He went off and he actually.
But I wondered where he was going to go. I was like, he has to go somewhere because he's not in Rebels.
Exactly, and he's that everyman that we connected to, and I love that they kept him alive. And you know what? He could pop up later on too.
Well, except that he sent him to his people.
Yeah, exactly. But he's still alive. I'm just saying we can see him later on. You know.
But I just thought it was interesting the way he, especially when you find out that originally he thought that he was a spy or something, and he only kept him close by because he was trying to like discover the truth. And then when he realized, no, he's just like a normal guy, and then he just like training him, basically to be the best that he can be. And then the fact that he felt so strongly about his abilities that he sent him to help his people. Like I thought that was amazing.
Yeah, I thought the whole time he was like, you know, he was using Eli the whole time, but then, you know, towards the end you realize like he actually has a little bit of an affection for him, and you know, he was training him to be a better leader, a better person, and that. So that I really enjoyed that part. Another thing is like this is Thrawn. This is, you know, the origin of Thrawn. But another thing is tying into Star Wars Rebels Season 3.
It's also the origin of Price.
Exactly, origin of Price. Exactly, that's what it was. Because she was featured very heavily in this book.
Oh, yeah.
And about her rise to power, much like Thrawn's rise to power.
Except that hers is it's a whole different kind of thing. Like, she's basically an evil bitch.
Well, she wants the power, is what it is.
Right, because but that's what I mean. But she's as opposed to Thrawn, who he wants to do good things and make things right. He wants to make things right. He wants
peace.
Right, he wants peace. He doesn't necessarily care about him having personal power. He doesn't care he doesn't care about the rules. He doesn't care about what he's supposed to do. He wants to do what's right, to make things right for the people. And, you know, he doesn't want to take lives. He doesn't want to hurt people. He doesn't have to. Where Governor Price her whole thing is based on revenge and power. Like, she's just not a good person.
Yeah. She wants the power. She wants.
I mean, and granted, I understand where it comes from in a way because she's been
victimized,
hurt and abused. You know, like every time she tried to get ahead, somebody either tried to take advantage of her or to knock her down. And so I get where the desire to be more powerful and to have more power comes from, but she's not a good person.
Yeah,
but you can totally tell because she looks like an evil person. I mean, that haircut.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, so one thing I was wondering the whole book is maybe I wasn't listening to the audiobook because there was two questions I had throughout as the book went on after the first couple chapters that I kept on waiting for them to explain. So number one was why was Thrawn, an outcast? But then they explained that.
He explained
that. It was all a ruse, pretty much. And the other one was where he mentioned that in chapter 2, of course, where I got introduced, he knew Anakin Skywalker, that he met him. And I'm like, they didn't say specifically, like, they said like a battle, right?
Yeah, they never explained exactly
what
it was. But he did talk later about how he met he knew him.
And I'm curious, I'm like, okay, did he brought up Anakin Skywalker, and that's kind of how he got in the Emperor's good graces. Okay? So then at the end there, he meets Lord Vader. And I'm like, okay, does he know?
I bet I don't think he knew at that moment, but I bet he figured it out.
He's just as smart.
The way he reads people, there's no way he's not going to figure it out.
He's just as smart a character as, say, Tarkin, and Tarkin figured out that, Vader was Anakin.
Tarkin also knew Anakin better than Thrawn knows Anakin.
That's true.
But Thrawn is smarter than Tarkin, so...
I'll give you that, definitely. But, again, and another thing I liked about the book is this really is kind of a Rebels 3 lead up. Yeah. Because it literally goes right up to where Thrawn pops in at Rebels. You see Price asking him for help with these rebels in Lothal.
Yeah.
And so, but overall, a very good read. I love, again, I hate the fact that they made me like Thrawn.
I know, that was like literally the biggest thing when I came out of this book. I was like, damn it, I don't want to like him. But I do. I really have an understanding and appreciation for Thrawn. I kind of wish I had the Thrawn pin now from Celebration.
The Thrawn pin,
It only cost $200 on eBay.
I know, right? Well, you can always try to hunt down the Thrawn Funko Pop as well, too. Okay. All right. Anything else you want to comment on Thrawn?
No, I highly recommend if you've read any of Rebels. Yeah. Or if you've seen any of Rebels.
Rebels Season 3. If you like Thrawn and Rebels Season 3, of course, or like just Rebels in general, I recommend it.
Yeah, highly recommend.
Okay. One more Star Wars story we're going to talk about is something that Last Jedi director Rian Johnson was speaking with Entertainment Weekly about, and he revealed that he requested one small change at the end of The Force Awakens from J.J. Abrams. Quote, the big favor was I asked if R2 could come with Rey and if BB-8 could stay behind with the Resistance. Originally, it was BB-8 in the script who went with Rey, which makes sense for the story in a way, but I asked, can you do me this solid and switch the droids? Of course, Last Jedi comes out December 15th. Lisa, do you think from a story point this makes more sense than BB-8?
Yes, for sure.
Okay.
I mean, BB-8 is Poe's droid.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense for BB-8 to go with Rey. He's not Rey's droid.
Well,
he's Poe's droid.
You would think about it too, the fact that Rey, BB-8 spent so much time with Rey, where they have that connection. You could almost see, because especially since they want to highlight the new droid, so they can sell toys.
Yeah, I mean, I get why from a movie point they want to do it,
but from a story point,
it doesn't make any sense.
It makes better, especially since
I mean, R2 should be the one that goes back to find Luke.
To Luke, because R2 is like the archive of the entire Star Wars saga, okay? He's been there the whole time. He didn't get his memory wiped like 3PO at the end of Episode 3. He knows all of Anakin's story, and he knows all of...
Sorry. Sorry.
Sorry. What's going on?
No, nothing. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So he knows all of Anakin's story. He knows all of Luke's story. He knows what happened to Luke's Jedi Order that he tried to create. And, of course, the fact that Luke... I mean, R2's his droid. Yeah. That's what it is. He has that bond. R2 was there, throughout the entire original trilogy. He was there with Luke during the Dagobah saga, his training. He was there when Yoda passed away. Technically he's more of a better friend to Luke than, Han is in that sense too. So it would make more sense having that connection with Luke that he would be there instead of BB-8. And especially since, again, BB-8 is Poe's droid. And even in... other stories that we're getting, like the Poe comic book, where BB-8 is heavily featured because he is like, Poe's version of R2. He's as many adventures as Luke goes on with R2. It's Poe and BB-8, and we saw that in the trailer with the two of them running down the hall and stuff like that. So I think you're going to see, BB-8 still heavily featured in The Last Jedi, but it's going to be with Poe and possibly Finn as they go on their adventures. So, in that sense, it makes sense, and I'm glad he did that. I'm glad, it makes me feel better, more reassured that Rian Johnson is, he's thinking from a story perspective and wants to make a good story rather than just, sell some toys in that sense.
Yeah, so, I agree.
Cool. All right, well, that's going to be it as far as Star Wars news. I got two more things to go over. Two itty-bitty little trailers that dropped this last week. The first one is the first trailer for Columbia Pictures' The Dark Tower, based off Stephen King's book, and they're looking to make a whole series out of it. Now, the film is being directed by, I'm not going to be able to say this right, Nicolas Arcel. I didn't say that right, but he directed The Royal Affair. The Dark Tower series tells the story of Roland Deschain, Midworld's last gunslinger, who is traveling southeast across Midworld's post-apocalyptic landscape, searching for powerful but elusive magical known as the Dark Tower. Located in the Fey region of Endworld, amid a sea of singing red roses, the Dark Tower is the nexus point of space-time itself. It is the heart of all worlds, but is also under threat. Someone or something is using evil technology of the Great Old Ones to destroy it. The film also stars Matthew McConaughey and comes out August 4th, 2017. Now, this film has kind of got a lot of controversy around it. It's been delayed several times, and I think casting has changed quite a bit, too, on this. I personally, I've tried to get into, I think at one point, I tried to read the Dark Tower comic, and I didn't really get into it that much. I think it was more the art than the story. So again, I'm going into this blindly as much as anybody really. But this is the trailer. Lisa, what do you think of the Dark Tower trailer?
I thought the trailer was good. I don't necessarily want to see the movie, but I know a lot of people that love Stephen King and that love the Dark Tower series that are like really been waiting for this. See,
I'm used to Stephen King like It and Pet Sematary, so
but he also wrote like Shawshank Redemption, and he writes. He doesn't just have one type of. Sure, he's most known for his horror, but he's a good writer in lots of different things, and I know a lot of people that have been waiting for this. I thought the trailer was good. I thought the movie looked all right. I still don't want to see it.
No desire to see it.
But it's just not for me. It's not my type of movie.
Okay.
I wouldn't mind renting it, but you know how I am.
Yeah,
I just
you don't watch movies rental. Yes.
If I don't see it in the theater, I'm probably not going to see it.
Yeah, exactly. Unless I buy advance tickets and be like, hey, we're going this time.
Yeah. But I did think the trailer was good. I like Idris Elba. I thought Matthew McConaughey looked good. Yeah. I thought it looked good. It's just not for me.
Okay. Kind of a couple notes that I had about it. The tower. Immediately, as soon as I saw the Dark Tower, I was thinking, hey, is Sauron live there? Is that what it is? I immediately thought of that. Matthew McConaughey as a villain, I think, looked really cool. The cast, Idris Elba, Matthew McConaughey, both stellar actors. I think they're going to do a good job and bring a good sense to this film to where it definitely will be likable, if nothing else. And then, of course, the only thing I got this kiddie vibe from it, to be honest. Of course, the main character is a kid. He meets up with Idris Elba's character. He shows him how to be a gunslinger. They're fighting this evil. And it felt like a kiddie. It almost felt like the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, Last Action Hero, where the kid goes over to the world and then they come back into the real world, and he's like teaching him how to live in the real world. There's that one line where it's like, do you have guns and bullets in your world? He's like, oh, you're gonna like Earth. I got that. It felt like a kiddie sense. But another thing that I don't know if I liked it or not, where in the movie John Wick, they said they created this new style called Gung Fu, where it was like, he was fighting with a gun and different ways to do it and stuff like that. I got that sense where all the little effects he did, like loading the bullets and stuff like that, is kind of that in that same sense of doing cool new ways with guns and how to fight with guns and stuff like that. But I don't know, just the way this portrayed, I didn't see what the rating. I think the rating was PG-13, I believe.
Yeah, because
it felt like
it didn't look like a rated R.
Again, the fact that it was featured that kid, he's going to be the main character, gave it that kiddie sense, which just kind of threw me off a little. Stephen King, I was expecting something a little more dark, I guess is what it was. My expectations versus what I saw was a little off. I'm still not sure on this film, but we'll wait and see about that. And again, first trailer. We still got a couple more to go, and we'll see how it goes from there. So, all right, guys. Last story of the day is another trailer that popped up on Monday. Warner Brothers has released the first, or I guess, new trailer for Blade Runner 49, featuring Harrison Ford and Ryan Gosling. Now, this one takes place 30 years after the events of the first film, where a new Blade Runner, LAPD Officer K, played by Gosling, unearths a long-buried secret that has the potential to plunge what's left of society into chaos. K's discovery leads him on a quest to find Rick Deckard, played by Ford, a former Blade Runner who has been missing for 30 years. The film was directed by Denis Villeneuve, who directed films such as Prisoner and the Academy Award nominated Arrival. It comes out October 6, 2017. So Lisa, of course, we were just talking about how you need to see Blade Runner.
Yeah,
I need to rewatch it. I got out of hold of the library, so we'll rewatch it. But just based off this trailer, just on itself, are you interested?
Yeah, I mean, this trailer, I never really knew much about Blade Runner. Like, it wasn't a movie I saw growing up. I didn't really know anything about it. So, but it wasn't ever one where I was like, yeah, I really need to watch Blade Runner, Yeah. But this trailer makes me interested that I want to go watch Blade Runner.
Yeah.
So that I can, because I think this trailer, it looks good. I mean, I like Ryan Gosling, obviously Harrison Ford. And then what's his face? Jared Leto. I mean, he's a great actor.
I think he's going to be the main villain from what it looks like in the trailer.
The villain, right. So, I mean, this trailer definitely piqued my interest to where it makes me want to make sure I watch Blade Runner. And just, I mean, I know I'm going to like Blade Runner just from the people that I like on our different things that talk about it. It seems like a kind of movie I would
It's one of those movies where I think if you grew up watching it, you probably have more opinion. Like, my dad owned it. I've seen it several times. It's been a while since I've watched it, actually. But I like it. I don't love it. Like, I get why people like it. It's, a very different kind of sci-fi film compared to what other things have come out. But I'm not like, oh yeah, I gotta watch this, once a year or a couple times a year. I'm like, I watch it, it's okay, I get it, but I'm gonna rewatch it just to review myself to get ready for this one. This trailer, I think, the main thing that's got me excited is honestly the director. I loved Prisoners. I loved Arrival. So seeing what this director does next, and especially looking at this trailer, the style, the music, the sets, the coloring, all that stuff looks super cool. That's what got me most excited about what Villeneuve is going to do with this world and these characters. Some other things I got was, Batista. I totally forgot Dave Batista.
Oh yeah, I saw who was he supposed to...
I don't know what his character was. He showed up wearing glasses, but just the fact that he's getting more roles and stuff like that. Much like Guardians, I hope they play to his strengths. He was in the newest James Bond one, Spectre. He didn't say a lot. He was just kind of a thug. But I think again, if like the way James Gunn has used him in Guardians of the Galaxy, if they play to his strengths, I think he can go on be a memorable character in this one. I think this is definitely one of those passing the torch things. Much like, Arnold Schwarzenegger and Stallone, these old action heroes, Harrison Ford has finally learned that he needs to go back and close out his old roles, such as Star Wars, Indiana Jones, Blade Runner. So I think this is going to be, if this film is successful, we're definitely going to see a passing the torch. I don't see Rick Deckard, Ford's character, making it out of this movie alive. I think it's one of the passing of the torch to Ryan Gosling, and Gosling will continue this franchise if the film does well. I'm really interested in the story too, because one thing that people loved about Blade Runner was the kind of symbolism in the replicants and their place in society, especially with this one, Jared Leto's dialogue in this, where he talks about how all great societies have been built on the backs of other people or slaves, so to speak. That's kind of what I feel like they're going to talk about with the replicants on this one, how this society, the replicants are pretty much the slaves to the humans, and they've helped build this, and, possibly revolt even coming up. Might be one of those things. But yeah, just based on the trailer, I love the style. I love what I'm seeing so far. So I'm anxious to see this film. We've got a few months to go, but we'll see how it goes from there.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, that is it for today. Like I said, we got 2 shows this week, so hopefully we covered everything you'd want to hear about. But let us know. Of course, hit us up, dayspringdiscussions@gmail.com. Facebook group, Twitter. You can also find me personally on Instagram and Twitter, Slim Dayspring 12. And that's going to be it. However, I will tell this cute little story about this morning. I was taking Nora to daycare, and I loaded the Sing songs, the Sing soundtrack onto her iPad, and she was listening to them. And then she was listening to that song that the porcupine does, Scarlett Johansson. And I was trying to explain to her that, oh, this is Scarlett Johansson. This is the girl who plays Black Widow in the Avengers. And she was like, what? I was trying to get that through to her, and it wasn't going quite as well as I hoped. But, trying to make that connection as well.
Oh, that was your funny story?
That was it. I thought it was a very cute story. I tried to make that connection because she knows who Black Widow is.
I thought the cute part of the story today was going to be that Nora has her Darth Vader earrings in.
She does have her Darth Vader earrings in, yes. The ones that she got while we were on vacation. So she does have those as well, but she lost her other earrings. So hopefully we can find the other earrings because she tends to lose earrings a little too often.
She never loses her Captain America one. It's always the other one.
Yeah, definitely. So, all right, guys, again, that's going to be it for us. Anything you want to comment before we go?
Oh. Nope.
Okay, guys, well, that's going to be it. Join us next week. We'll have plenty more to talk about. So until next time, may the Force be with us all.